Hello, my little piggies. Welcome to I'm a Bit of an Expert, a Peppa Pig podcast. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and on the other end, down the old buzzer, is my other host, Matt Frost. Hey, mate.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you and congratulations as well.
Yes. There's another girl in the house, Sloane Frances Chapman. She arrived on the 15th of December. After we were told that she wasn't going to arrive for another week or so, and then she decided to turn up anyway. That's just, just that last little bit of inconvenience that babies like to give just at the very end.
Oh, the last bit of inconvenience babies give you. What an odd turn of phrase.
I just realised as soon as I said it that didn't make any sense. But no, so we've been bunkered down for about a month. I've had a month of leave and only just gone back to work actually, so we got to spend the Christmas New Year's break at home, looking after the kid, watching a lot of cricket, which was nice, and then travelling all over the countryside doing Christmases and showing off the baby and wrangling the 3-year-old. So Peppa has come in quite handy in the last few weeks.
Yeah, it was good to hear that it all went well, mate, and I like how you prioritise. Yeah, it wasn't spent the last 4 weeks bonding with the baby, it was watching a lot of cricket. But,
well, yeah. It was that as well. It was on the couch. They don't do much the first couple of weeks, so they just sit there. So it was nice having getting some cricket time in and having an excuse to sit in front of the TV all day. It was nice. But no, thank you, and I hope you had a nice holiday as well. I mean, we haven't dropped an episode, but we have taken a little break. We banked a few, and now we're just fresh in the new year, raring to go.
That's right, absolutely, and what a cracker to start off with.
So that brings us to Frogs and Worms and Butterflies, which I think is the longest title of any Peppa Pig episode to date. I might be wrong.
Definitely so far.
It's up there. Daddy Loses His Glasses might be close, but this is a little bit more of a mouthful. So what goes down in this episode, Matt?
So this one, the kids are at Grandad Pig's. And
Crib.
Grandma Pig, although she doesn't feature, I don't think. They're
I think
outside
she's at
the
the very
garden.
start of the episode. They kind of turn up, and
Yeah.
then the mummy and daddy go in the house, and Grandma Pig goes in the house, and the kids just make a beeline straight for Grandpa.
Yep. And he's in his garden, and Peppa finds a butterfly, flaps around a bit like a butterfly, and she tells George that he can be a worm, and he's not very interested in that. And then Grandad Pig teaches him how to be a worm.
He does the worm. He was doing the worm. Like I was ready for a little bit of scratching and flipping and flopping, and he was going to drop some cardboard down on there, and put his Beastie Boys chunky chains on. But he had some pretty sweet moves, Grandpa Pig.
Yeah, and I always think I keep thinking like that guy is 93 years old.
The that's actor, how old not Grandpa.
The actor,
Pig,
yeah. Well, I tend to just put them together, but I was thinking, oh God, I hope he doesn't break a hip. But no, he was good.
I like to think that he was in the studio, when they were doing the live reads, and he's got the cardboard on the floor, and he's popping and locking and doing the worm. So if anybody doesn't know what the worm is, just Google the worm dance, and it's basically you. Yeah, it's not too dissimilar to what Grandpa Pig was doing, actually. You sort of lie flat on your stomach and kind of gyrate and thrust your bottom in the air, and you kind of do this wormy sort of motion. I'm gestating to Matt right now on the camera here, but he's just looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, it's barely dancing, but yeah. So then they that makes George happy, and then a little frog hops along, and then they all act like a frog in a muddy puddle.
Yeah. So the giveaway, the Peppa giveaway, when you start looking at them as closely as we do, you start to crack the codes, and basically at the start of the episode, the children suspiciously have their boots on.
Yep.
You can pretty much guarantee there's going to be a muddy puddle at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too many where the boots kind of, because Peppa always wears her golden boots, and it's always a bit of a giveaway going up. Yep, I reckon there's going to be a little bit of muddy puddle action going on in this one.
Well, you call it cracking the formula, but I refer to it as expert foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. But that's right, and it's a pretty good session in the muddy puddle because we've got a froggy jumping in there as well. So
yeah, so another one of the sort of lower in the food chain, or maybe not food chain animals, but you know the difference between the animals, the higher ups and the lower downs.
Yeah, so amphibians, we can put them in their place. So they're down there with ducks.
They're there for everyone's entertainment. So that's a very common. We have the Peppa Pig Pod Twitter account, and you know we sort of go through that, and I like to sort of keep my finger on the pulse of the Peppa news, and I'll sort of search Peppa Pig on Twitter and things, and in between everybody just banging out the same boring old Peppa Pig memes we've seen a million times before. A lot of sort of bright sparks go on about the why is there a Dr. Hamster and a vet and all that sort of stuff like that, the animal hierarchies. But I think it's a little bit more nuanced. I think there are definite rules.
Yeah, you have to wonder how much time some of these people have put into it, really.
It's a lot of hot takes.
There is, yeah, definitely. Somebody put on there the other day that they thought that Miss Rabbit was unemployed, that she just kept on getting sacked from all these jobs.
They just kept losing her job. And it was...
No.
No. That was outrageous. So I did post one the other day, not to call this a Twitter talk, but somebody had posted about whether they thought that Dr. Hamster would have to change her name if she got married to Mrs. Hamster. And I was just like, well, no, she's a doctor. It's the same as any doctor. The real world rules apply. If you're a doctor and you get married, you're not all of a sudden just Mrs. whoever. Yeah, so... We had to put that person in their place. Not that we want to, we don't want to pepper-splain people, though. That's not what we're about.
Nobody wants to be pepper-splained.
No one wants to be pepper-splained. But, every now and then, when you sort of end up looking at a lot of Pepper social media as much as we do, you sort of, it kind of breaks into memes. It breaks into questionable use of the licensed pepper, a lot of birthday cakes, and a lot of hot takes.
Yeah, I like the birthday cakes quite a bit. So.
Yeah, me too. So, nothing hugely of note on this one. This is probably the closest to the nothing much happens in this episode one. After we've come off some really big episodes, especially we've ducked into stuff like Christmas and had the whole gang. Apart from some sort of sweet dance moves from Grandpa Pig, although there is quite a funny bit where he does sort of lie down to do the worm and his legs stick straight out into the air. We have established that Grandpa Pig is Daddy Pig's father, isn't he? Or is he Mummy Pig's father?
It's Mummy Pig's. Yeah, I don't think we've... because... bit of jumping ahead here, she talks about when she was a little piggy being in the house.
Yes, that's right. You're right.
I won't spoil the context of that because we're doing these in order. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mummy Pig's parents.
Yeah. So Grandpa Pig sort of gets on his tummy and his legs are sticking straight out of the air, and he's very sort of does have the sort of the Daddy Pig roundabout. But then George pops on his tummy. It's almost like he's looking at his inevitable future, isn't it? Really, because the boy pigs pretty much all the men pigs all sort of have the same shape. I think Daddy Pig's brother is pretty similar as well.
Yeah, and look, to be honest, if you look at all the adult animals, like nobody's what I'd call fine boned.
No, they're all pretty healthy, well stocked.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, really. We don't want to see any malnutrition piggies or animals.
No, they're in a good pasture wherever they are.
There's an abundance of things to do. You think that'd all be a little bit trimmer considering how many hills there are around the place. Everybody has to walk up and down the hills, but anyway.
Now, I did pick one other thing up. I would call this one a little bit of a learning episode. You remember the one we had, the gardening one, where Grandad Pig was sort of doing a little bit of instructive. Now we do this and we do that.
Oh, so to plant the seeds and
yeah.
Yep.
So this one we learnt about like the long tongue of a butterfly, and they drink from the flowers, and so edu episode.
Well, gotta have something. Have something, because this one, let's not beat around the bush. We tells it like we sees it. There wasn't stacks to draw from this.
No.
So you get sometimes you hit them out of the park, and sometimes you don't. And dance moves aside, pretty easy episode to move on from, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't rate these.
No.
I think
What would your rating scale be? Would you give it 5 Mr. Potatoes, or would you? 5 muddy puddles. 4
muddy puddles. It's probably. I reckon probably potatoes, but I don't know. I don't think that we're that podcast. I think
no. I think we could say the ones that aren't as good as the others, but I don't think we want to. We're not going to do the definitive guidebook. I don't think you want to lock yourself into a review. You'd be like all those people who gave "Be Here Now" by Oasis 5 stars years ago who look back.
You've left yourself nowhere to go.
I know. I read a whole article about it quite recently, because I think it was 20 years old, the album, because there was a lot of people when, a bit of music talk, when, What's the Story, Morning Glory came out, which was a humongous, cultural significant album in the UK, and a lot of music press were like, it's all right, 2 stars, whatever. And then I think they were like, well, we can't make that mistake twice. We've got to laud praise on the overindulgence personified that was Be Here Now.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Be Here Now of Peppa Pig episodes.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe how we rate Peppa Pig is that the ones that are like this episode are still very, very good.
Yes. And on that note, oh dear. So that's the closing thoughts. We'll be back. If you want to follow us on the socials at Peppa Pig Pod, you can. You can leave us a review. The downloads are going really well. I just discovered our Spotify statistics, which I'd never really looked at before, and they were really high as well. So it just turned out we had almost twice as many listeners as I thought we did, because people were listening on Spotify, which is very encouraging. But we'll be back next week, actually, with a very special episode.
Oh, I look forward to it.
All right, mate. Thanks again.
Thank you, Josh, and good night, little piggies.
Yeah, we're playing a tune and we're singing a song with a bang and a bong and a bang. Bong, bang, boo, bang, bong, bang, bang, bong, bangly, bongly, boo. Bong, bang, boo, bang, bong, bang, bang, bong, bangly, bongly,